They humbly depict themselves as a small, existentially threatened country surrounded by bloodthirsty killers who want to eradicate her from existence. And yet, they declared war on Hamas as a terrorist organization. And yet, they profess that they want to be friends with Saudi Arabia. And yet, all Israeli governments are the last of the Western colonizing powers of the Middle East. You cannot treat an open wound with palliatives and painkillers. The Abrahamic Accords are not divine writ. And yet, Israeli governments have arrested thousands of the inhabitants of the lands they are colonizing and incarcerated them in concentration camps under the flimsiest of security accusations, young and old, women and men, who are rotting there without recourse to justice. They are demolishing homes as they wish, and they assassinate whomever they want to. And yet, the Israeli Knesset passed a law that defines the citizenship of Israel as exclusively Jewish, denying the non-Jewish inhabitants of Israel of equal rights under the law. What kind of democracy is that? And yet, Israel is the most powerful military between the Atlantic and the Urals. Its might is displayed in its ability to bomb adversaries in Syria willy-nilly, without them daring to raise a finger, as it were, in defense. Not to mention its previous military exploits in 1967 and the raids on Entebbe and Tunis, to the repeated onslaughts on Lebanon. More than 200 nuclear weapons are their so-called Armageddon deterrent. And yet, while waging wars on Hamas, Israeli governments are funneling guttery financial support for what they say is a terrorist group. And yet, proffering friendship to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has not stopped the successive Israeli governments from unleashing their political minions and their media hounds from all countries to denigrate and demonize Saudi Arabia.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. من هنا من قلب فلسطين، من مدينة غزة، رسالة حب واحترام وتقدير لدولة كل يوم تثبت لنا انتمائها وولائها لقضية فلسطين. السعودية الخير والحزم. تحدث سمو الأمير تركي الفيصل قبل أيام فأخرس الصغار والمطبعين وألجم إسرائيل، ونهض بعزائم الرجال من العرب والمسلمين ووضع النقاط على الحروف وسد باب الفتنة قاتلها الله. شكرا لك تركي الفيصل من فلسطين، من هنا ومن كل أبناء فلسطين وأحرار فلسطين. شكرا لك تركي الفيصل على هذه المواقف الشجاعة التي أخرست وألجمت بني صهيون من الإسرائيليين. نكرر ونعيد، شكرا تركي الفيصل. شكرا تركي الفيصل. حفظكم الله ورعاكم. دولة الحق والخير والحزم، دولة السعودية الشقيقة، من قلب فلسطين ومن قلب كل أحرار فلسطين وأبناء فلسطين. تحية لكم وكل الحب والاحترام لكم والتقدير.